Hey y'all, hey, I'm coming back to you. Listen, I'm seeing the Jeanne, it says Jeezy's filing comes more than 2 years after he and the former co-host Real tied the knot. So, Entertainment Tonight is saying that a source tells ET that the 45-year-old rapper, whose name is, J. Wayne Jenkins, and the former co-host of The Real weren't on the same page when it came to certain family values and expectations. They had different views and each felt like their needs weren't being met. Let me tell you why this is important. And I'm talking to you from a woman, a 56-year-old woman who's a wife. And I say that because I've said that I was married before, but this is the first time I've been a wife. And I understand that there's a difference. And because of that, and the things that I'd gone through, I realized certain things needed to be communicated from the onset, but I also needed to hear certain things. And one of the things that resonates with me is Jeannie Mai talked about how she's a dominant personality. Well, I am too. I've always been a dominant personality. And when I look at, and that was one of the things I wrote in my bio or my profile, because me and my husband met online, that I recognize that I'm a dominant personality because the oldest of two, born to a single mother myself at the time, a woman in two branches of an officer in two branches of the military. So it required me to be assertive and make my presence known, and I did and do. But I also talked about the fact that I realized that there's a softer side of me that I wanted to be free to share every aspect of the person that I was, but also learning that sometimes I just had to be quiet. And Jeannie Mai talks a lot. And it takes one to know one. Well, you may say, TJ, that's her profession. Yeah, I understand that. But again, I've said before, you got to know your audience. And sometimes you don't, it's not necessary to have something to say about everything. And she seems to be that kind of person. But let's talk about family values. One of the things that me and my husband talked about is, particularly for me, is, letting him know that even though our dynamics of how we grew up were very different, because he grew up in a 2-parent household, a stable household, I didn't. But even though I did not, family is very important to me. I told him that family is very important to me. But we also had the conversation about the fact that being of the ages that we are, we knew at some point somebody's parent was going to need to come stay with us. But that was a conversation that we had early on, and we made sure that we were on the same sheet of music as it related to what that would look like. Okay? I don't know if that's what Jeannie Mai did or not with her mom coming to stay with her, but I do understand when you have a new baby, you need help. And they were coastal, so I can understand that. But hopefully that's a conversation that her and her husband had. And even when having that conversation, that she understood and respected that he was the king of that castle. And if he wasn't comfortable with something, it was up to her to fix it, to make sure that he felt like the king in his castle. So that's important, but those conversations should have been had early on. When my aunt lives with me and my husband, but we had that conversation and I talked to him about it. If he wouldn't have wanted it to happen, it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. Because my job as his wife is to make him feel comfortable in his home and vice versa. And if anything impedes that, then we need to reassess. But also, one of the things I learned about, growing from my previous relationships and previous marriage is it's not everybody's business what's going on in your house, in your relationship with your husband. And because it seems that her and her mom are close, chances are, and because we already said she talks a lot, chances are She was talking to her mom. Her mom felt comfortable saying some stuff. Because, listen, you know how we do. You know how we do. So, and then I think I read that, her brother was about to be moving in. Was a conversation had about that? Those things need to be had. Because even even in my case, my husband, with a person here, you just can't walk around just letting it all hang out. But again, those conversations needed to be had to make sure that you all were on the same sheet of music and that no one felt displaced and disrespected. I'm very sad about it. And I don't know anything about them, but I think about that baby. And it's unfortunate because they're not in their 20s, they're both in their 40s, to see that those conversations were not had. And now we're here. And it's very important because, again, culturally, the Vietnamese culture sounds like it's very different than what Jeezy was accustomed to. No different, like I said, that Mr. Randolph grew up in a 2-parent household and I didn't. But we came together to have those conversations. And I'm gonna tell you something. My husband, I'm doing this stuff on social media. My husband is not a big social media guy, if at all. But I honor that. And I realize, I talk a lot, but my husband doesn't. And that was the best pairing. Because in getting to know him and respecting him, I had to, again, be quiet sometimes because, just because there's a pause doesn't mean that there's something needs to be filled with words. So a lot of times in previous relationships, I would talk over the man, not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but again, talking. Well, with my husband, because he's very thoughtful before he thinks a lot before he speaks, and he does not speak fast. So what that meant for me is I had to be quiet and let him finish, which was, different for me. But that is where I realized, okay, it's important for me to hear him is just as important for him to hear me. But I got to stop talking to listen. So I said that was, God's way of, it was kind of funny because I can talk a lot, I know. I have the gift of gab. That's why I love, I'm a leadership development instructor. I'm a, advisor. I love all that kind of stuff because I talk. But sometimes you got to listen, and she doesn't seem like she would be a good listener. But hopefully if they can dig deep, maybe they can resolve it. And they might have to get some people out their house. Take that with you.